Last week at World America, we saw a barn burner of a race, and on a one-stop strategy, Justin Seidel got his way back into the wild card scenario with the win in the Clovers 250. Here today, for the first time since season number 1, and 7 years later, we are finally back at the Nashville Superspeedway for race number 16 on the season. 3 races to go in the regular season, and it's getting really tight around the chase cutoff and for the regular season championship. It's race 16 on the season, the Broken Bow Records 400 at Nashville Superspeedway. What's up, everyone? It's a boy on this racing 97, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and just like yesterday in the National Series race, I'm going to say this again. Welcome back to Nashville for the first time since season 1, first time in 7 years. Kind of crazy that it's been that long since we've been here, but if it's anything like the National Series race yesterday, then we are in for a barn burner of a race here for race 16 on the season. And it is very tight everywhere across the board. And I've been saying parity. Well, just look at the front row. We got Eli Bright 23rd in points and BB Ruiz 32nd in points up here. So we're gonna see how that all plays out. And we got Caribou's up here in the booth for this one. And for the first time since season 1, welcome to Nashville.
Definitely looking forward to this race. Like you said, if this race is anything like the National Series race that we saw earlier, this is going to be an absolutely spectacular race. Really excited to see Nashville back here on the schedule, and it'll be really interesting to see how all these Cup Series drivers adapt to this racetrack. It's definitely going to have a lot of factors going into it. Of course, gonna see a lot of tire wear here today because, well, the concrete is beckoning. And gonna probably see a lot of different strategies as well, and just overall a lot of on-track action probably awaits us here during this race. So it's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and cannot wait to see how it will all play out.
Absolutely, you took the words out of my mouth. We got the same tire from Atlanta that we kind of used at Darlington as well, but it was a little bit softer at Darlington, about 3 seconds. It's going to be about 2 to 2.5 seconds of tire fall off here at Nashville, same as Atlanta, so that's going to play a whole wrench into everything, on top of we not being here since season number 1. We're definitely going to see some drivers have a short run car and some drivers have the long run car, and that's going to play into a factor. 2 pit stops, and for some of those drivers that are outside of the chase cutoff right now without a win, like John Andrews, Trey Barlow, Duncan Ward, Nick Lopez, Matthew Burnett, and even Joe Wachowski, and maybe even Eli Bright. What do they need to do here to open up the playbook and maybe steal a win and get into the wildcard fight?
I think the run to the chase is on. We just got 3 races left to go before we get everybody restacked, reshuffled, and get set to go for the championship. And yeah, for a lot of these drivers, like you mentioned, Eli Bright and Baby Ruiz, who are really on the outside looking in, the run is on. They definitely have at least somewhat shot to make it if they can maybe get a win and go after that wild card battle. So I know winning is probably what's on these guys' mind as they go into these final couple races of the chase. But yeah, 3 races left to go. Time is running out, but there is still time for quite a bit to happen. A lot can shake up in just one race. So we'll just have to wait and see how everything will play out here as we go into the chase.
Absolutely, and heck, Joe Wachowski, season 4, won the race at Pocono and got himself into the chase with the wildcard spot. So something like that could happen in one of these final 3 races of Nashville, New Hampshire, and Pocono, and someone could leapfrog the way into the wildcard fight. Speaking of the race to the chase standings, here it is after a crazy World America last week. Stuart Grant is still the point leader, only by 3 points over new second place Logan Williams. Super quiet, but super consistent. This team is red hot, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Logan Williams wins here today, based off of his speed the last month and a half. Stuart Grant is 70 above, and then Logan Williams is 67 above, Local Dawn plus 61, and Ian Miller plus 56. Those 4 are all battling for the regular season championship, and all pretty comfortable about the car flying. Jordan Edwards had a great one last week. I believe got a top 5, much needed after a little bit of a slow trickle down the order. He now is in the sleeper contention for the regular season title possibly as well. Plus 43, looking pretty good. Those 5 are pretty good, just need top 10 ones, and they should be good. However, sits on bet is tight. Matthew Hooper only plus 21. Marlon Kennington having a breakout consistent season, only plus 17. Sam Dio plus 15. Juan Garcia, the Willow Springs winner, he's been hovering around the cutoff line all year really, and he's only plus 15 in. And then Jordan Stout had a rough week last week, and he's now only 7 points in for our Daytona 500 winner. And April is still on the rise, and he has that win at Michigan, but he might not even need it because he's only 7 points below the cutoff line. John Andrews minus 14. Trey Burrow constantly 12 to 15 fall season, minus 16. Duncan Wood minus 16. And then Sam Vitale has wildcard number 2, and Abel has wildcard number 1. Sam Vitale minus 31. Matthew Burnett minus 35. Nate Lopez minus 41. Alexander Rowe has that Talladega win. He can make it in with the wild card, but he's minus 54. Joe Wachowski needs a win to make the chase at this point. He sits here today, so he could, but he's minus 58. And then Justin Liddell, the newest wild card contender with the win at World America last week, is 71 out. And then, of course, our poster, Eli Bright, he's 23rd in points, 103 points out. The only try he's going to have at making the chase this year is with the wild card fight. And here's the top 10 for the return to Nashville. Eli Bright is on pole, and BB Ruiz 23rd and 32nd in the point standings here on the front row. Andrew Miller looking for his 5th win on the season and sits as a whole. And alongside is Jordan Edwards, Nicholas Dio, and Joe Wachowski in all 3. Matthew Burnett and Local Dorn in row number 4, and rounding out the top 10 here today is Nate Lopez and Matthew Hooper. And I will say, kind of like yesterday in the National Series race, Local Williams still deep in the field, but he was able to work his way up and got a top 5 finish. He starts 28th here today, so we'll see if what Local Williams can do, along with everyone else. For the first time in 7 years, we are back at Nashville, and like I said at the end of yesterday, we might have good reason to stay this time here at Nashville. We'll see what these Cup Series riders will do. Gonna put you on the spot, Caleb. 3 races to go into the chase. Who do you think will win here at Nashville?
I think I've definitely got my eyes on these Legacy Motor Club cars, like you said. They have shown a lot of speed throughout the season. They just haven't really had the luck to carry them to victory lane. So, honestly, I think I'm going to go with that number 43 of Joe Rutkowski to finally get his first win of the season, and who knows, maybe kind of propel himself up towards that wild card battle.
Not a bad pick, and you hit the nail on the head. Legacy Motor Club, Bright, and Rutkowski have had speed, but they've had battle. I think Eli Bright, who blew up again last week at World America, has had at least 3 engines explode in 15 races, and it's been that type of the season. Whenever they want good, something happens, but we'll see what ends up happening. Race 16 on the season, 2 pit stops, 2.5 seconds, a tire fall off, and the return to Nashville for the JBL Cup Series since season number 1. Eli Bright and BB Ruiz will lead us to the green flag, and we are racing with 3 races to go until the chase for the Broken Bow Records 400 at Nashville. And unlike the National Series race where we had a crash on lap 1, turn 2, we are going to complete lap number 1. But how much further are we going to get? Because we got us scrambling all over the place. And like we've been saying, there's a lot of tire fall off, and you really want to make as many passes as you can within the first 10 laps or so. And speaking of passes, here comes Sam Badillo looking on the second place spot, but not going to quite get there. And we're going to see this all day long. We're going to see a lot of passing. And definitely going to see a lot of moves being made before these tires fall off. And we're looking already in the back.
Boy,
And that
we
is
got a big one.
a big one in the back. Jordan Stout was on pit road. I on the lap into the number 23, the 10, 16, 15, and the 6 and the 31. And, well, we did 2 laps this time instead of 1. And the top 3 are still
Dio.
And Sam Dio, the top 3 is still racing back to the line, and he's going to win the race back to the line.
Both Bright and Miller there.
Well, looks like they might have left in turn 2 as well. Well, let the chaos ensue here at Nashville, apparently. We saw that yesterday in the National Series race on lap 1, and here goes the strategy. It's only a couple laps on these tires, and everybody's going down pit road besides the top 2. Is this fuel or is it tires? That's the big question.
Interesting strategy call. We'll see what everybody decides to do here.
Tire was not that bad for the first 5 or 7 laps, so maybe they might just take fuel only here. We'll see what Eli Bright does. Jordan Stout was leaving pit road. I don't know what happened to the 23 early on. And looks like it's going to be 2 tires in the back part of pit road. And Eli Bright is going to take 2 tires as well. See, is it going to be just 2 tires?
Maybe Ruiz in the 1.
Oh. There goes 48 Juan Garcia. I think we got some mixed strategy.
4 tires.
4 tires for, I think, most of these guys besides the 48.
Interesting.
Oh my goodness, Crampton's destroyed.
Oh, Crampton. Back to what I was saying, BB Ruiz in the 1. A lot of damage to that car on the pit lane. Started on the outside pole. That's definitely not the way he wanted to end his race.
And maybe something happened in between 1 and 2 for the second part of this accident. And, well, like I said in the National Series race yesterday, just copy and paste it. Welcome to Nashville, a early caution here. And you can probably tell that it's been 7 years since we've been here, but tough break for the majority of the field. And we're going to go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day here in the Broken Bow Records for the top 2 stayed out. And let's see what all transpired here in this one. Here we go, lap number 2, and in the back, Monaco turns Kyler Sustry off turn number 4. And unfortunately, a tough break for the 16, the 17, and then nowhere to go for Giacomo in the number 10, and the 15 at Duncan Halverson. The 15 and 16 will be just fine. They're just going to spin down to the inside, but unfortunately, nowhere to go for Owen Miles, and he's going to T-bone Kyler Sustry in the number 17. And that's not going to take him out, but that's definitely going to give him some damage, and he's going to be off the pace for the rest of the day. Very unfortunate, but a minor incident for it being a multi-car crash here at Nashville. And let's take this one full speed and then see what happened for the second part on this caution.
Gonna watch here Eric Monaco on the back bumper of the 17 of Kyler Sustry. Going into 3 and 4 here, going to try and maybe squeeze between the 10 and the 17. Just barely gets him into the quarter panel and gonna kind of start a chain reaction there, resulting in a couple of cars going around here down the front straightaway. And then looking up ahead, Travis Crampton gets into Rutkowski, who gets into BB Ruiz. And then just once again, another chain reaction. This time happening through turns 1 and 2. And unfortunately, BB Ruiz, your outside pole sitter, kind of just an innocent bystander getting caught up in all that. It's going to give him quite a bit of damage. And same for the 45 of Travis Crampton. A tough break for everybody involved there in both incidents.
Absolutely, and a tough way for Travis Crampton. And well, we said about Legacy Motor Club having speed, but bad luck. You can copy and paste that over to the 45. And another bad luck here early on. And I really feel bad for BB Ruiz. He might have a strong car, qualified second, but We're gonna see what ends up happening. We saw basically everyone else go down pit road besides the top two of Anna Miller and Nicholas Samadillo. So we got some pit strategy, and some of these guys took 2 tires, some of them took 4. And Mono Garcia went fuel only. So we'll see what ends up happening. But it is Samadillo, the driver, that will lead us to the green with some strategy. And we'll see what ends up happening on the restart here at Nashville. Welcome back to Nashville after a chaotic first handful of laps, and saw everything right there, and it turned out that Jordan Stout had a tire go down right at the start, kind of like what happened to Bruno Diacomo in the Nashville Series race at Phoenix at the start of the year. Was fine until the line and then blew a engine, so this time it was 10 from points Jordan Stout that blew a tire. No one is out. Jordan Stout did get a lap back, so he's now 3 laps out instead of 4. The top 2 stayed out, and then we believe that the 48 took fuel only. And then 4th on bat, Eli Bright, Nick Lopez, etc. to a mix of 2 and 4 tires. So we're gonna see what ends up happening with all the strategy game. No one is out, but some drivers have some massive damage. Back green on lap number 8 of 75 here in the Broken Bow Records 400. Great restart from Eli Bright, gonna make it 3 wide for second.
Big move already by the 42, 3 wide into 1. He's going to move up into the second position. Still nearly 3 wide at least, as 41 Juan Garcia going to clear the 21 of Andrew Miller there. And there comes the 54 Nick Lopez, and for the lead, here comes the 42 of Eli Bright. Around the 77 of Samadillo. Not many laps on these tires, however, tires are still, regardless, a couple of laps older, so probably paying a bit of dividends for the guys that did stay out on the racetrack. You've got the 11 now of, I believe, Aaron Abel looking to make his way through the field. He's got a push there from the 8 of Duncan Ward here down the back straightaway. Seeing a lot of the Joe Gibbs racing cars up here. We're seeing all of the Joe Gibbs racing cars up here, actually.
All 4 of them. That's impressive, and you know what? I said this about Juan Lou in the National League yesterday, but all 4 of his cars for RSS Racing, including you, top 15 ones, and this is even better for him. Juan Lil, owner of JGR, and all of them are inside the top 10, and impressive one, and they might be one of the hottest teams late in this regular season, trying to get at least April and Kennington into the chase, and if things get crazy, maybe even Burnett and maybe Nick Lopez as well, but Nick Lopez is dropping back. And you mentioned the tire wear. It's not that significant early on, but clearly having 5 or 7 lap old tires for Samadillo and Anna Miller is hurting them here early on this one. And same with the 48 that took fuel only. So that's just a little tease of what we'll see all day long. Eli Bright still out front. Abel in second, Duncan Ward in third. Kennington in 4th, and Matthew Burnett inside the top 5.
Getting the strategy game rolling here with all that going on there in the first caution, and it'll be really interesting to see how this will all develop as the race goes along, but at least definitely here in the short run, definitely hurting the 21 and the 77 as they both kind of fall back, but got a lot of cars here kind of moving up. How about this 8 of Duncan Ward trying to look for second on the 11 of Aaron Abel? You got the 47 there of Stuart Gratton here now up inside the top 5, looking to try and maybe make his way around Ronald Kennington. Almost 3 wide there. As here comes the 24, Trey Bartow. He's one of those guys that's right on the outside of the top 10 in points, maybe looking to try and point his way in. And a run like this is definitely what he needs. And just a couple cars back, you got the 38, Logan Williams, who started really deep in the field. He's already making his way up here. He might be inside the top 10 now.
I believe he is, and that's kind of what he's done all year. Qualifies towards the back, but has the fast car and moves his way up to the front fairly quickly. And Matthew Hubert to the inside of Kennington. And we gotta see what Stuart Gratton can do. He's been the most consistent, along with Jordan Edwards, 10 top 10s in 15 races. And he might be a contender, a true contender for this regular season title as a rookie. And he's definitely done a good job here. Trey Bartow, like you said, he's been around the cutoff line all season. But with Jordan Stout having a bad one, And then Juan Garcia, of course, did that strategy call, and that didn't work out for him. JBL could have a big day in that number 24 machine. And same can be said for some of these guys. Bradley Weem, of course, his teammate Justin Zidell won last week. It's not been that good of a season for Bradley Weem in number 22, but he has a good one right now. And things are definitely settling down a little bit after an early caution. But it looks like Duncan Wood is faster than Aaron Abel, and he might try and go for that second place spot.
It's kind of spreading out just a little bit here as this run goes along. Duncan Ward rolling really well there to the center of the corner, side by side or down the backstretch with the 11 of Aaron Abel. Looks like he's finally going to clear here going into turns 3 and 4. And here comes the 47 of Grattan, also looking to try and take advantage of Aaron Abel kind of slipping up the racetrack there in 3 and 4 after getting passed by the 8. They're going to be side by side now down the front straightaway. Grattan looking to make his way up here into 3rd. And he's going to take that spot away easily here going into 1 and 2. Some fun racing so far here from Nashville, though.
Absolutely, and I think we're definitely seeing some drivers maybe saving their stuff here. And I think one of them could be April. You know, he was in second. He, I think, might be saving it or his car is just falling off. But we definitely want to have a long run car here today because, like I said, it's going to be about a second and a half after 15 laps. And it's going to be about 2 to 2.5 seconds to fall off after 30. So you definitely want to have a long run car. And I think Logan Williams might be one that has a long run car. He is flying that 38. And how about Zachary Fitzwater inside the top 10? He dominated Road America last week. Thought he would have won if it wasn't for a one-stop call from Justin Zidell. And he's inside the top 10. And another driver that has been 8th to 12th all season. Around the cutoff line, John Anderson, number 34 as well. Trey Ball making, well, not Trey Ball, Joe Lukowski making a 3-1 move. Dylan Matthews making some moves as well. We got battles all over the place, and we're really starting to see some comers and goers here in this one, and we're going to see that all day long. And Hubert trying to get win number 3, same with Grand, side by side for 2nd or for 3rd, and looks like these guys are all catching up to Eli Blake now here in the second half of this green flag run.
Seeing a lot of cars kind of slipping back a little bit and a lot of cars moving on up. And like you said, I think one of the biggest names that are really moving their way through the field is that 38 of Logan Williams. Made quick work there of Rogel Dorn and Trey Bartow, and already quickly closing in on the 19 of Ronald Kennington. 38 definitely looks like he has a long run car, which I think is definitely what Logan wants to see out of that number 38. Like you said, I think long run car is what you want to have here in Nashville, and Logan Williams definitely making good work of that so far as he all over the back bumper here of the 19 of Kennington.
And he's going to get tight. That's another thing about this version. They sometimes get tight off turn 2. And we've seen that always long. And you know what? I don't think it's just the 38. I think the 34.
Oh, I think it's both.
Yeah, I think it's both front wheel cars. And this has been something that we've not really seen all season. So that's great to see from Ben Watson and Front Wheel Motorsports, and we'll see what ends up happening for the race to lead. And Duncan Wood, you know, he dominated Charlotte, won in the National Series race, dominated the 600, and he almost won. That's 75 laps, I believe, something like that, around 70 to 80, but he didn't win. He is 14th in the points, needs a good one, but he wants to win. He's seen Local get that win earlier in the season at Auto Club, and now Local is bound for the regular season title. Duncan wants a win bad, and he might get it, but he'll put it strong on the long one. And then obviously these front wheel cars look really strong, but John England is going to get to the side of Logan Williams for the 7th place spot. And I think some of these drivers back here also are on the move on the long one, like Alexander Vitale in the wild card fight, and maybe even Jordan Edwards and Joe Lukowski. And I believe how it's going to shake out is that I believe with these guys, with most of the field putting under that first caution, I think pit stops might be around 35. So that could be very interesting if we make it all the way on this green flag 1. Duncan Wood still closing on Eli Blake, but like we've been saying all season, these Electric Club cars have speed, and Eli Blake is doing a great job out front.
He has been strong pretty much this whole run ever since he got to the race lead. But he's definitely not home free just yet, as he's got the number 8 of Duncan Ward hanging in that mirror, and kind of surprised that Duncan has not won yet. That 8 car has looked really fast so far this season, and yeah, I know Ward definitely hungry for a win, and definitely has another good shot at getting it here today. Matthew Hubert there in the 5 car up into the 3rd position and looking to potentially close. That 5 car might be heating up even more here as we get onto the long run. And yeah, like you said, both of the front row racing cars really coming alive here as this run goes along. And we got, honestly, some cars that are kind of hanging out here outside of the top 10 that are really starting to look quick as well, kind of like the 12 of Alex Savatali, 43 of Joe Rutkowski. They're trying to make their way through the field, but now we're kind of in the stage right now where everything's kind of getting spread out here. So, it's going to get a little bit harder to pass, especially if these tires wear out. But, yeah, there's the 21 of Andrew Miller and the 77 of Sam Adio trying to hold on. I thought that as this run goes along, the tires would kind of equal out, and it looks like that is going to be the case, as right now they're both kind of hanging around here around this top 20 spot.
Yeah, 19th for Andrew Miller, maybe 18th, and Sam Adio in the 21st spot. But how about some of these drives, like having a top 21 almost, both with racing cars, Wally Wilson and Duncan Allison inside the top 20, top 22. Brendan Varga inside the top 20, top 23. And a huge shout out to the 15-minute up and down season for him, but a good one. And this is someone that needs a good one. Alexander inside the top 15 for the number 41 in that wild card fight, and he's right behind Sam Vitale, who is basically he's going after right now for that second wild card spot as of now entering this race. So got battles all throughout the field here, and we might have a battle for the race lead, and we do almost. Duncan Ward almost to the inside of Eli Blight. And that 8 is fast here on the long one. Should be seeing pit stops within the next 5 to 10 laps. And that could be very crucial because the way that they pit here, they pit entering 3 and 4 on the apron. So definitely going to see what will happen with that. And once again, like we've been saying all one, these front row cars are fast and they're both inside the top 10 now, top 5 now.
Obviously kind of seem to be working together with each other as well, and making a dynamic duo so far here this race. Is, yeah, like you said, they're now both here inside of the top 5, looking to make gains here on our top 3. But we're getting into that part of the run now. The tires have really worn out. You can kind of visually see that these guys have really slowed down, and honestly the track looks to have gotten a little bit tighter as well, and getting harder and harder to pass. And like I said, in just a couple laps time, we should start seeing a lot of these guys come down pit lane. In fact, in probably just about any second now, we could see guys like Andrew Miller and Nicholas Samadio, who stayed out under that first caution, come down the pit lane. We'll just have to wait and see what everybody decides to do. That's going to be really interesting to see. Yeah, it's going to be really fun to see what kind of all strategy these guys will pull. Do you want to undercut, overcut? Choice is up to them.
And the playbook is really large because we saw it in the National Series race. A few drives to the undercut, it worked out for them. A few drives to the overcut, it worked out for them. So, this race strat, it seems like you can almost do whatever works for the car. And that's going to be interesting of how everything plays out. And like you said, we're getting to that point of the one, but it's about 2.5 seconds to fall off. And these guys are just settling in, thinking about when they want to pit here in this one. And I'm surprised that same with Dio and Miller have not gone down pit road. Never mind, right when I say that, they do. And also, I think something happened to the 71 of Fitzwater, unless he just went down pit road.
Yeah, he's on fresh tires.
Yeah, he's on fresh tires. Yeah, the tire go down.
Yeah, tire go down. Oh, man.
And we missed for the pass for the lead.
Well, how about that?
Well, tough couple of races for Zachary Fitzwater, but that's not going to be too bad for him on strategy, since this is going to be right about where pit stop's going to happen. And how about these front row cars wicked fast here late? John Ames might get up to second, and I will say, last year for the 100th points race in the JBL Cup Series, John Ames won that race at Atlanta with 2.5 seconds to tire fall off. So he's won with this tire before, and he might have a good shot. Pit road should be opening for everyone else very shortly, but we'll see if the undercut is going to work out or if the overcut. And I'm just going to quickly go through here. It looks like the 41 has gone past the 12. I think Alexander has a really good long run car as well. He might have top 10 car today based off of the long run speed. And I'm seeing some pit crews get ready, so we should maybe see some takers this time by, because it's about 30 laps or so since that pit stop. And here we go. Look, Williams is going to do the undercut, it looks like. And same with Eli Boyd for a late decision.
Oh. Right, might have saw Logan Williams coming down and said, hey, I'll take that.
Smart call from Eli Boyd, especially from one of the teams that need a win to make it into the Chase Fever wild card. Trey Butler is in as well. Same with Alexander
Rowe is in. I like that.
I also like that. I think he has a top 10 speed. Matthews, and then of course Jordan Stout, he's had a rough day, and some others. And this is going to be interesting. They are pitting right with 30 laps to go. And honestly, they might be able to stretch it, and this might be the only green flag stop of the day. Wait, no, no. It's 40 laps to go, I think. Yeah, it's 40 laps to go, my bad. It's still going to be one more pit stop. So, that's going to get interesting.
Eli right here on the pit lane. Jack is down. There goes the number 42. Williams, though, with a full head of steam. He's going to overtake him on the pit exit.
Oof.
What a move there out of the 38. He might get the lead out of all this. We'll have to see. Here comes the race leader, the 8 of Duncan Ward, down pit lane with Matthew Hubert, and probably just about everybody else in tow, and it does look like that is indeed going to be the case. Got a couple cars staying out. I believe that was a 71 of Fitzwater. And it'll definitely be interesting to see where everybody will cycle out after everything is said and done. We'll just have to see.
Gonna be very interesting. Of course, with these guys pitting with basically 35 laps to go. That's right around the window where they might be able to make it. If not, then they might short pit this one and maybe pit a couple laps sooner. That early caution threw a monkey wrench into everything, so just gotta wait and see how it all cycles out. Duncan Ward with a good stop. But I think you might be right. I think that's gonna leapfrog Logan Williams to the race lead, and it's not even gonna be close. Logan Williams has not won yet this season. He coulda, woulda, shoulda a couple of times, but he's gonna be out front in the number 38.
That got a little bit close there. And Logan having to deal with maybe a little bit of lab traffic here as he goes by the 71 there, Zachary Fitzwater. I think that was the pass for the race lead for the time being, and in fact it was.
You know what? Fitzwater might be able to one-stop it one more time.
He definitely could maybe make it on one more stop, but he is on a lot older tires right now, so I guess his main goal was to just try and get as many positions as he can out of this. He could probably salvage something out of this. If he can maybe hold on to a decent position. That 71 definitely going to be a little bit off the pace compared to all these other guys. We'll have to see if it does work out, but man, seeing a lot of different strategies in play here, whether intentional or not.
Oh boy, this is going to be a lot of fun, and I do believe that everyone, for the most part, pitted with 40 laps to go, so they cannot make it. They're like 5 laps short, so probably will pit with 10 laps to go or something like that. But for Fitzwater, he's going to be really close. I've seen it a few times where they've been able to stretch it to 33 laps on tires on fuel in testing, so if you say that a couple of extra laps, he might be able to one-stop it. As crazy as that is. And he lost the lead at World America because of a one-stop strategy. And he might be able to get a decent finish on a wacky strategy. We just gotta wait and see. But Logan Williams battling for the regular season championship, only 3 points behind Stuart Glenn. And right now Stuart Glenn is not even inside the top 10. He's back in 13th. So as of now, Logan Williams would be the new point leader in this race, and honestly, he might win this race, and I'm surprised he hasn't yet, but he's definitely been on a roll ever since Kansas, really, right before the All-Star break. So, gotta see what he can do. Eli Bright still in second. John English in third. Great points day for him. And then we got Trey Barlow running in fourth. You know what? Barlow might have something for this race when if things get interesting. And then the side-by-side for the fifth spot. Duncan Ward is going to take that away from Andy Miller in the sixth position. And that's going to be interesting for Miller, because Miller and Sambadio, they were the first ones to pit. And they really can't make it here with this race. And Zachary Fitzwater in 7th, and now Cooper in 7th, Fitzwater in the 8th position, Sambadio in 9th, and Aaron Abel inside the top 10. I'm really liking Abel. I think he might be able to jump into the top 10. Let's do it. Jordan still having a bad one here today, but it's definitely getting interesting, and we gotta wait and see on how all the tire strategy and fuel strategy will work out. Rokowski in 14th, Connington in 15th, and then some bad starts for Burnett, Sam Vitale, Nick Lopez, Eric Marco, Jordan Edwards with a really bad stop. He's outside the top 20 now for a 9 machine. And it's going to be interesting on how this will play out, but we still have 30 laps to go, and Fitzwater is still on the racetrack. He's in that window where he could pit one more time and he would be good.
I think once he kind of gets into this 30 to go window, he should be more than safe to make it to the end on just that one more pit stop. And I do believe everybody else will certainly have to do one more stop as well. So, yeah, this could definitely work out for Fitzwater. We'll have, like I said, we'll have to see how it does all end up shaking out. But yeah, definitely some shakeups after that pit cycle here inside the top 10. Of course, Logan Williams now with over a 2-second lead back to the 42 of Eli Bright. Bright's now under fire from his Front Row Motorsports teammate there. Number 34 of John Andrews trying to find a way around him. You got Duncan Ward there in 4th, and looks like the strategy might work out after all in the long run for guys like Andrew Miller and Nicholas Sambadio. They're both running here inside of the top 10, and I definitely imagine they'll probably undercut again once we get to that second cycle of pit stops, so that could definitely gain them even more time. So we'll have to see where it ends up stacking them up once everything is said and done. We got Trey Bartso there. Right behind him in the 6th position, you've got Hubert, Abel, and Dorn still up here. And right now, Nicholas Sambadio rounds out your top 10, but actually not for long as a 41, Alexander Rowe. I said I liked what he was doing there in that cycle. We said that he might have some top 10 pace in that 41, and looks like he is there at the moment.
Great one from Alexander Rowe, and that number 41, he needs this one. Right now, he needs to focus on the 40 or the 12 of Sam Vitale, and he's ahead of him by 7 spots. So that's going to be exactly what he needs. Closing a little bit each race, and he's definitely going to see maybe Alexander Rowe steal a wildcard spot. And a great day from Front Row. Logan Williams out front with a sizable lead, something that we didn't see yesterday in the National Series racing really all day. And Logan Williams has 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and he might get his 8th top 5, 10th top 10. He might even get his first win and take the point lead here today, but he's got one more pit stop to go. Things can get wild like it's been all weekend long, so just gotta wait and see what ends up happening. White still in 2nd, John English in the 3rd position, and I believe Fitzwater has still not pitted, and that's interesting. Fitzwater's trying something in that 21 machine, or 71 machine. Yeah, he's still staying out, so. Oh boy. Well, I did not have this on my bingo card. We got some strategy going on. And with 25 to go, it is a 1-2 now for Front Row Motorsports.
To the inside of the 42 of Eli Bright, going to take that spot away here going into 1 and 2. And so we might have a battle heating up for 5th as well as Trey Bartso tries to go after the 21 of Andrew Miller. Aaron Abel there in the 11 waiting in the wings with Matthew Hubert also not too far behind. Bartso going to look to the inside here through 3 and 4. Had to check up a little bit there on the inside, but might get a decent run off. But Miller actually got a pretty good run there on the outside lane, and is going to hold on to the position for the time being. Got a bit of a 3-car blanket back here with guys going for that top 5 spot. Barto going after it once again. He's going to get to the quarter panel off of 2. We're going to be side by side down the back straightaway. We'll see where Aaron Abel decides to go in all this. He decides to go to the bottom behind the 24 Barto, maybe try and help him through, and also try and get by the 21 Miller as well, and that's going to work out perfectly for the both of them. Trey Barto now up into the 5th position, and Aaron Abel now up into 6th.
Eli Boyd tried getting back to the 2nd place spot, and that's going to kind of force the 34 a little bit wide off turn number 2. And I think Miller might be falling off a little bit. He was the first driver to pit alongside Sam Dio, so I'm not too surprised. But great one from Aaron Abel. He won at Michigan. He got a solid one again at Road America, and he's having a solid one again. And honestly, Abel, last year he made the chase, I think, or he came really close of making it at least. And he wants to make sure he's in, and he might point his way in if he keeps this momentum up the next 2 races. Now, he is inside the top 5 now, and we're going to go back to the inside battle, and this is a 3 and maybe even a 4-way battle for this top 5 spot. Fantastic racing here in the Broken Bow Records Corner after that early caution. We gotta wait and see what ends up happening. Fitzwater is a lap down. He finally went down pit road, but he's going to be on much fresher tires than everyone else, so that's going to be very interesting on what ends up happening. Duncan, well, he's closing in. He's broken away from Abel and Miller as it gets really tight off the turn 2, and he's closing in on Bright and the 34 of John Andrews. But how about Logan Williams? He has a 4-second lead now in that 38 machine.
But he's got lap traffic ahead of him, and that lap traffic is definitely not... doesn't seem like they've got Logan Williams on the mind right now as they're going after each other. Here's they go into 1 and 2. There's the 71 to Fitzwater coming out of the pit lane there on the bottom side of the screen. And if you're Fitzwater, it's hammer time right now in that 71. You've got a lot fresher tires than the rest of the field. You've made your final pit stop. You can make it to the end from here, so it's just about gaining as much time as you possibly can on the rest of the field to maybe salvage a great finishing position here. Eli Bright in the 42 trying to take that position back away from the 34 John Andrews, and is going to move his way back up into the 2nd position. Duncan Ward there sitting in the 4th position, but Aaron Abel in the 11. He's pulled away from that battle behind him and looking to try and close in here as these guys continue to battle back here. As now they've honestly pretty much just traded out Aaron Abel for the 5 of Matthew Hubert here, and they're still going at it.
It's Andy Miller versus Henry Motorsports right now, and we gotta watch out for Duncan Ward and Aaron Abel. They seem to be hitting the light switch here late in this one, and they have caught John Andrews and Eli Bright. So that's gonna be very interesting, especially if we end up having to pit again. And it's gonna be very interesting. We gotta watch out for Zachary Fitzwater. He's gonna be on much fresher tires. And oh no!
Oh, John Andrews has a problem!
And he just had a tire go down.
Tire down.
Oh my goodness.
Well, not the most ideal scenario for Andrews, but he can easily make it to the end from here.
That is true. It might be a blessing in disguise for that 34 team.
And I guess luckily for him, he had that tire failure down the back straightaway pretty much just on the line to make it into the pit lane, so this might honestly really work out for John Andrews, honestly.
It's been that season for some of these drivers, and it's kind of like, I feel like, boy, not as much for John Andrews, but that's going to be interesting. Logan Williams, he mentioned that he has a long one car, and he really has a long one car. He has a 5.5 second lead in that 38 machine, but Duncan Ward has a good car too. He's going to move Eli Boy out of the way. And Duncan Ward's saying, hey Eli, get out of my way, I have a faster car than you do on the long one, and he's exactly going to do that. And I wonder if the 38 of Logan Williams is a little bit worried now, because he probably just got on the radio that, hey, John Andrews blew a tire, maybe save a little, but with how fast that car is on the long one, I don't know if he can really save. And he's going to have a almost 6 second lead. That 38 is gone. Huge long one car, but I think Ward has a long one car, Abel with a long one car, And this is what we were talking at the top of the show. You gotta have a long call you at Nashville. And some of these guys, the 11 and the 8 and the 38 especially, all have it.
Definitely, it's been no surprise seeing these guys battling up here towards the front this late in the going. We've seen they've had speed all race long, especially as the run kept going on. And yeah, Logan Williams continuing to pull away with that lead now, almost a 6.5 seconds over the 8 of Duncan Ward. 42 of Eli Bright now maybe going after it here with the 11 of Aaron Abel. But not home free quite yet. Still have one more cycle of pit stops coming up here in probably just a couple of laps time. And this is going to be the money stop here. This is what's going to make or break your race. So these teams really need to deliver on pit lane. And I'd definitely be watching out for guys like Fitzwater and John Andrews, who, I guess, not really intentionally, but really undercut the rest of the field. And it'll be really interesting to see where they come out after all of this.
Yeah, who knew that we would see strategy at Nashville, but that's just how it worked out. If it went caution-free, it would have been 30 and 60, ba boom, ba bam, but that's not how it worked out, and it's definitely going to be, I'm interested, I would imagine, Animal and Sanity would be the first ones on pit road, since they were the first ones on pit road the first time. And regardless, I think it's going to be a great one, a much needed one from Duncan Ward and Aaron Abel here today. And it might not be a win for Eli Bright, but still going to be a good one for that 42 team. And
here we go.
Yep, here we go. That's kind of what I was expecting. Miller is going to be the first run on pit road. I would assume the 77 is going to follow him. Or maybe the 77 already did. Nope, there he is. So that's exactly what I expected. The 21 and the 77. First one's pit with 10 laps to go, with 11 laps to go. And now what's the call? Do you take 4 tires because you've done a full one? Or do you take 2 tires and gamble? Miller has 4 wins. He's bound for the regular season title. What does he do?
All the chips are down and on the table. Let's see what he does here. He's at least going to be taking tires, but does he take 2 or 4 here?
4 tires.
It's going to be 4.
And I like that. I think that's going to be the call to win this race. And I think everyone's going to do that. Especially with it being a full field one here. Go back up to the front. Logan Williams, that's not pitted yet. And then the 8 and the 11 have not as well. And
Trey Bartow.
Bartow in the 24. He could have the top 5-1. Maybe a steal. The win moment here is, oh my goodness, trying
Andrews
on those flush tires. You gotta be careful with the Fitzwater and Andrews. We might get a caution because of them on flush tires. Well, it's on pit road as well. And same with Ed Monaco. The chat said he had a tire go down, but I think it was damage 0, so it might have been like a vibration. Logan Williams is on pit road and number 38 now. And a whole bunch of lap cars on pit road as well. I see more cars back here. Eli Bright is on pit road. I believe the 8 and the 11 stayed out another lap. Duncan was teammate of Local Dorn is in, and they were not able to make it on field one. I'm glad that they are doing this now with 7 to 10 laps to go and not a few mileage race, but this is going to get real interesting on who can cycle out as the race leader.
Pulling into his pit stall, I believe. Yep, there goes the 38 of Logan Williams. Already done. I wonder if Logan might have maybe tried something. Bright tried something. He goes 2 tires.
Ooh, boy. See, oh my goodness, that's a lot of drivers on pit road this time. But I saw the 43, 54, 12, 20, 48, 47. And we are under caution.
Caution! We have a yellow flag.
Oh my goodness, and it looks like it's in 3 and 4, and it might have been the merger, and this is going to change everything.
You know what? Oh boy.
We should be able to go back going. It's 7 laps to go right now. 7 to go, coming to 6. We should be able to go back green. But we're going to have to fix everything and it's going to be a late race restart here at Nashville.
It's really going to shake things up here.
Oh my goodness, what a weekend it has been. We got some 2-tire strategy, we got some 4-tire strategy. Now these guys
are
able with fuel only.
Oh, I don't know about that one, Chief.
And meanwhile, oh my goodness, we got fuel only, 2 tires, 4 tires, everything. Everything is on the table. Oh my goodness. Well, I have no idea on who the race leader is going to be. We're going to go ahead and quickly see what happened. Going to give us plenty of time to sort everything out. And we will go back racing, I'm sure, at least a 2-lap shootout. So, we'll see what ends up happening for the second caution of the day and the second restart of the day here in the Broken Bow Records 400. Well, here we go. This was the second caution of the day, and this is going to be a little bit of a spicy one in the Discord. It all starts in turn number 1 and it ends in turn 3, so... In turn number 1, entering turn 2, Grant bumps Joe Lukowski out of the way and up the racetrack. But because this happened during pit stops, it turns out that at the same time, Lukowski decided, you know what, if they're going to move me out of the way, I'm just going to go down pit road. But they were side by side, and the way that the pit road is, or the entry point, is on the apron. You can only go single file. They couldn't figure out who wanted to go first. Joey Grant slowed up, and then the 43 of Lukowski slowed up, and then Stuart Grant finally just said, you know what, I'm sorry for bumping into you. Just go ahead, go on by first. And then this all happened right when Trey Barlow was exiting off pit road, and it's already this merge point that kind of happens, and Trey Barlow tries to avoid all this, but it gets into the side of Stuart Grant, and both the 47 and the 24 are going to go spinning up the racetrack, and both of them are going to take a couple of hard hits, especially Trey Barlow in the number 24. And that's a tough break for both of them because they both had top 10 speed today. Especially Trey Barlow. We were talking about that he might have had a top 5 car. And now he has this destroyed back end. And now that ruined the strategy for Fitzpatrick in the 71 right there and John Andrews. So this will set us up with a 2-lap green white checker. But tough break for Trey Barlow and Stuart Graham right there.
Well, honestly, kind of a zany incident here for our second caution of the day here at Nashville. Like I said, you're going to see Grattan kind of move Rutkowski up the racetrack there, and they're going to go side by side here down the back straightaway. But can't really figure out who's going to be first going into the pits. They both slow up, and then you're going to see Bartza with a full head of steam here. Tries to avoid Grattan there, but just runs out of room. And they're both going to come together and spin into the outside wall. They're going into turn number 3. A tough break for those guys, and this is definitely going to shake a lot of things up with this happening during a pit cycle. And it's going to set us up for a late restart here at Nashville. This is definitely going to be spicy, I can tell you that.
What a race has been, what a race weekend it has been here at Nashville, and we're not done yet. We will have a 2-lap finish. We were able to sort everything out in time. So it's going to be an old-fashioned green-white checkered. And if we can get to him here, it will be the number 38 of Logan Williams as the race leader. So we're going to have to wait and see what ends up happening. Logan Williams will be the race leader. And then it will be Eli Blight, and then Moke Dorn, Aaron Abel, and those drivers that already pitted. So Logan Williams is still in the race lead, the dominant driver of the day for really the second half. Can he pull this one off? Well, we're going to have to wait and see. Some drivers differ only. Some took 2, some took 4, some are on old 4 tires, like Fitzroy and Andrews. What will happen with a green, white, checker finish? Let's find out who will win the Broken Bow Records 400 at Nashville Superspeedway. Well, welcome back to Nashville. We got everything sorted out. It's going to be a 2-lap shootout. A green, white, checkered, and we got some fuel only, some 2 tires, some 4 tires, some old 4 tires. Everything's all jumbled up, And this might just be a instant classic, and we might need to come back to Nashville next year and not do a 7-year wait. This has been a very fun race, a very fun weekend. And it's going to come down to a 2-lap shootout with Logan Williams, Aaron Abel, Eli Blake, Joe Kowski, Alan Noah, Duncan Ward, Matthew Hubert, Juan Kennington, Local Thorne, Bradley Ream inside the top 10, and Nick Lopez. And then you got some of these guys that we've not seen all day long, like the 51, the 15. I don't know what's going to happen. 2 laps to go. Green light checker. They should be good on fuel. But who's going to win? Oh no, Aaron Abel just blew up on the restart. Back green. Aaron Abel just blew up on the restart.
Oh, and look at Eli Bright. Logan might have did fuel only. Bright might have taken tires and he's going to the inside, but Logan blocks him.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, but here we go. There goes that tire advantage through the corner. He's to the inside down the backstretch.
April is good. He's on pit road, so we are good to go. Side by side, Logan Williams and Eli Blake. Logan Williams 21 day outside lane. We've not seen that all day long. This is the Powerade. 1 to go from a bottom corner race at Nashville Superspeedway. Can Lexi Mocha finally have something to go right here today? Eli Blake gonna send it in 1 and 2.
He's clear.
He's clear. And it might be a 1-2.
Oh,
it might be a 1-2.
Here comes Rakowski.
Oh my goodness, what a season it has been, and what a race for Lexi Mocha. Both of them started inside the top 6, and it's going to be a 1-2. And Eli Blake, he was fast all day, he will win the Broken Bow Records for them, and it's going to be a 1-2 for Lexi Mocha. Finally, something goes right for them this season. What a race, and Caleb, I think you can agree with me. We need to come back to Nashville instantly.
Definitely.
Whew.
You know what? Now, make it all Nashville. It's all Nashville, always has been.
I regret.
Wow.
I regret not coming here for 7 years. What a race. Whew. Oh my goodness. And you know what? That opens up another wild card scenario. Could Eli Bright make it into the chase? Because he's been fast all year, but he's had bad luck. Oh my goodness. And you know what? Joe Rakowski, that's going to help him. He needs a lot of help if he wants to point his way in. But that's going to help a lot. Oh my goodness. What a day for Lexi Milk Club. They've had so much bad luck, but they've had so much speed. And they get 1-2 with Logan Williams. If you only, he's going to get third still. But unfortunately, on a day that it looked like he had the best car by a mile, had a second lead at one point, it's not going to be the case. But he's probably going to be the new regular season point leader. So, not by much, because Local Dawn got 5th, but, my mind's blown. That was just incredible. What a race we have seen here today. We saw a early wet, a late wet, a long green flag, one in between. Tires go lower, and the green light checker at the finish. Logan Williams tried sitting on the outside, something that we didn't really see all day long. I knew it was a possibility on all the tires, but it almost worked for Logan Williams there. He tried, he really wanted that first win. But, how about that? Justin Seidel won at World America last week, and now he's in the wild card picture. And Eli Blake, 23rd in points. He was on the pole. That's one thing that we need to remember. He was on pole. He had a fast car all day, had a top 3 car. And now Eli Blake, and maybe even both Lexi Mo Club cars, might have a late regular season push. And honestly, with New Hampshire and Pocono, I don't know who's going to win. Parity this year has been insane. Even though Miller's been dominant, Miller didn't even get a top 10. I don't know where that 21 went. He didn't even get a top 10. So, I just cannot believe this. Miller got 16th. That's all breaking for Aaron Abel. He was top 5 all day. And now he might need to go back on that wild card win at Michigan. Oh my goodness. I'm at a loss for words. Blight, Wachowski, Williams, Hubert, Dorn, Ward, Kennington, Lopez. Where the same with all in Lincoln form? I have no idea. I'm stunned. I'm at a loss for words. Caleb, what do you got for that crazy finish here at Nashville?
Wow, what a race here from Nashville. Had battles throughout the field for pretty much the whole race, and top it all off, an incredible late race run here to the finish, and what a job by Eli Brad. I was saying pre-race to watch out for these Legacy Motor Club cars, and unfortunately the pick might have not landed right. It definitely ended up coming to fruition at the end with Legacy with a 1-2 finish with Eli Bright going to victory lane from the pole position. Definitely a well-deserved and well-earned win there for Eli Bright and Joe Rakowski with that 1-2 finish. But just, yeah, wow, what a race here from the Nashville Superspeedway. And, if I were you, Nathan, I would definitely be keying in this race for probably years to come.
Oh my goodness, what a race. And oh man, you know, I was saying for weeks that Nashville was going to be really good. The minimum, good, but the ceiling could have been great, and I think we hit the ceiling. This was a great race, had a fun long green flag one in the middle with all the tire stuff. That was a lot of fun, and that's why we brought the same tire at Atlanta, because I wanted some tire aspect to it, and that's what we did. And I'm just stunned. A late race, we saw a good old-fashioned green light check, but then Loveland's almost hang on to the outside, but not quite. And for the last two races, World America and Nashville, we have at least, I think we're going to have Jordan Stout, we're going to have Aaron Abel, Alexander Vitale, Alexander Lowe, Justin Zeidel, Eli Bright, at least 5-6 drivers going for 2 wildcard spots with 2 races left. This is just insane. And the good thing about it is that 34 out of the 36 cars finished. And the only reason why that 2 of them did not finish was, unfortunately, a gearbox for Dylan Matthews, and then, of course, the heartbreaker for Aaron Abel right there. And, you know, he could have won. If that didn't happen, he might have been able to win or at least get top 5. But he blew up right on the restart. And then Sussrod, Miles, 1 lap down. John Stout, 3 laps down after a tire went down right after the start. I cannot believe for what the season has been. This series keeps on getting better and better. And Season 6 might be the best one yet. And we still have a lot of races to go. Still got 12 of them. And we have only 2 races to go until the regular season finale. Next week, we are at New Hampshire. And then 2 weeks from now, on 4th of July weekend, we will be at Pocono. And oh my goodness, we are going to have a battle for the wild card, battle for the cutoff, and battle for the regular season title all at that point. And that's when they're going to be in the booth again, Caleb, is that regular season finale at Pocono. So, I just cannot believe this. Congratulations to Legacy Motor Club finally on something going right, and all the bad luck carry over to all good luck here today. Won the pole and a 1-2 finish, and I don't know what's going to happen for the next 2 races. Congratulations to Eli Bright on a crazy race win. Thanks for Caleb for joining me up here in the booth. And Nashville, I think you're back on the schedule permanently. What a race weekend between both series, and most likely we will come back here in 2026 and see how it goes there. Thanks for Caleb for joining me, and congratulations to Legacy Motor Club on a 1-2 finish. The points and everything will be at the end, and next weekend we will be at New Hampshire for Cup only, and then 2 weeks from now will be Pocono for both series. Until then, see you guys at New Hampshire Motor Speedway next week.